you a USB-C power adapter here, and then just a USB-C to USB-C cable. Right, so I guess it helps to have this thing lying around if you have a PC that has a USB-A jack, which pretty much all of us still do. Um, I'm always a fan of adopting new technologies. So, all right, here we go. Welcome. We're gonna start. The screen, first of all, the screen looks great. That's something I wasn't expecting because, to be honest, HTC screens have not historically been great, at least the LCDs, because again, if you have an M9 nearby, and you can't unsee this, and I'm sorry, you might want to shut off this video when I say it, but the color accuracy is so off, or the grayscale accuracy is so off that the anything that's supposed to be white looks like it's tinted green. All right, so we can set up a fingerprint reader here, and let's see how that goes. Right, so we're gonna draw a pattern. Sure, require pattern start device. Let's give it this. Let's hope I remember that. I can always refer to the video. All right, confirm. And we're going to show all notification content. Let's see how the fingerprint reader works here. Touch the... All right, so it works, I mean, like a standard fingerprint reader setup. I got to say, with the Nexus 5X had the best fingerprint reader setup that I've seen. You just tap your finger down 5 or 6 times. Doesn't ask you to move your finger around. And that's really just it. All right. So as we can see, the design is still pretty similar to the One series that we know. There's flatter edges here. That's really the only difference. Last year when the M9 came out, people said, "Oh, it's just an incremental update," and that was really just because the body hadn't changed, and still the body hasn't changed a whole lot, but people seem a lot more enthusiastic about this, and for good reason. The display, I gotta say, the display looks a lot better. The camera should be a lot better. Right, we have 12 megapixels, which seems to be the sweet spot. Everybody seems to be going for 12 megapixels. Samsung, Google, Apple, everybody seems to be sitting at that sweet spot. It has optical image stabilization, laser autofocus, all right? Not phase detect autofocus like the A9 had, but laser autofocus should serve the same means, and it should work in the fog and low light as well. f1.8 aperture, 2.3 inches sensor size, however you say that, 1/2.3 inches. Yeah, 1.55 nanometer pixel size, or micrometer, whatever it is. Autofocus, stuff like that. 4K video, 1080p, 60 frames per second. The camera looks like it's going to be awesome. Okay, so yeah, that's wow, and it's an all new design to the camera app. You know, and when you're in the camera app, you notice there are no on-screen buttons here. You have the home button, and then you have a back button, and the multitasking button are all hardware buttons, which honestly, I'm a fan of hardware buttons because when you have on-screen buttons, they always get in the way. There's occasionally a game that doesn't push them out of the way or something. So I prefer the hardware buttons personally. Other than that, we have a 1440p Super LCD 5. Great. It looks great. I don't care what kind of display technology they use as long as it looks great. So that's fine. Snapdragon 820, which is what we're going to see for most of the flagships, at least in the first half of this year. 4 gigs of RAM, 32 and 64 gigabyte models, up to 200 gigabyte SD card. Adreno 530 GPU, which is what comes with the Snapdragon 820 standard. You can also see we have the regular Blink feed here, which came to HTC Sense in Sense 6. But there's a lot of cool stuff here. I'm going to write up a few comparisons over the next couple of weeks. For now, I do have a system update to install. But I'm going to compare it to the iPhone 6s Plus. I'll probably do a camera comparison with one of the Lumias, like the Lumia 950. Might compare it to the Galaxy Note 5. I don't have the Galaxy S7 around anymore to compare it to, which I would have loved.